First, here's the one thing. The one thing that they're missing is the pot in America is boiling, and this is just yet another warning to all Americans of things to come. This guy is a lone gunman nut job. He wrote an article titled "Hitler's Worst Mistake, He Didn't Gas the Jews." You're going to see a lot of nut jobs coming out of the woodwork now. There are two very important things that are happening here. First one. It's what I talked about 2 years ago when I talked about the perfect storm. I said that there is a storm formulating, and it's the economy, it is political correctness, it's corruption in Washington, it's militant Islam, it's all of these things. I said when it comes on shore, there's going to be a go, go, go mentality, and that's what this is. There is a mentality in our enemies. Our country is now vulnerable. Those people who would like to destroy us are enemies like Al-Qaeda. They'd like to destroy us, and they will work with anyone. There are also people like white supremacists or 9/11 truthers that would also like to destroy the country. They'll work with anybody they can. Coming through our southern border, Al-Qaeda is trying to prepare people. I showed you this video last week. Watch this.
4 pounds of anthrax in a suitcase this big, carried by a fighter through tunnels from Mexico into the U.S., are guaranteed to kill 330,000 Americans within a single hour if it is properly spread in population centers there. What a horrifying idea. 9/11 will be small change in comparison. Am I right?
Right. Okay, enough. That wasn't some average radical teacher. This is one of Osama bin Laden's close friends. I'm not saying this guy is connected to these people at all. I'm just telling you this kind of stuff is coming. Especially in the light of what's just happened, a little more relevant than it was last week. We are under attack in almost every shape and form in America. We need to look out for enemies, foreign and domestic. Second, there is going to be a witch hunt, I believe, in this country and quite possibly all around the world for two groups. First group, Jews. It happens every time. Second group, I think, conservatives. 2 years ago, I spoke with Benjamin Netanyahu. I told him, you are being set up. You are being set up. Israel is being set up. Iran's goal of nuclear weapons is putting Israel into the crosshairs, and here's what's going to happen. The rest of the world is going to say, oh, peace, peace, peace. They will have no choice but to do something to stop nukes from being launched into Israel. The rest of the world is going to stand by and let them do it because they're the only ones that will, because they have a right to survive. And then the whole world will turn on Israel and they will blame Israel. Oh, the Jews stirred the pot. We were so close to peace. Anybody who has read history knows when things go bad, the Jews become scapegoats. Jews. It's coming again, especially over in Europe. I am sorry to say. Please, can we learn from history and not make the same mistakes again? Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security reports about right-wing extremists. Remember that came out a few weeks ago? Left-wing bloggers and some in the media have blamed conservative hosts like me or Bill O'Reilly for just stirring the pot. I'm not stirring the pot. I am pointing out that the pot is boiling and there is trouble in America. Since when? Have you ever heard of don't blame the messenger? This is not the work of right-wing conservatives. This is the work of somebody today who is racist, crazy, or most likely both. Common sense tells you there are very hateful people on the right and the left. I'm going to show you some of them in great detail here in a second. The world will use any excuse to come after those people that they now deem unpopular. Whether you choose, and they'll do it for their own power. Whether you choose to ignore it, well, that's your prerogative. There is no longer a question of if the pot is boiling. We can all see that it is boiling. The question is, how do we pull ourselves together and defend ourselves against a common enemy?